A lot of men battle to understand how the world works. They get their information from mainstream media. They experience cognitive dissonance because reality is different from a Hollywood movie. Sigmas, on the other hand, have strong analytical minds, and they use their own powers of observation to understand the world. Sometimes, the truths they uncover can be unpleasant to look at, and in this video we're going to draw attention to some of these harsh truths. Here are 11 bitter truths about life every man needs to know. Number 11. Nobody is coming to save you. In the self-improvement world, you often hear a phrase that says, "Nobody's coming to save you." It's a dramatic way of saying that nobody, not even your family or friends, wants to take care of you, especially if you're an able-bodied man. Sigmas understand this truth from a young age. It's one of the reasons why they push so hard to become self-sufficient. Sigmas are high achievers. They don't want recognition or popularity. Those are alpha motivations. Rather, a Sigma understands that the world is a tough place. If he wants to attain a strong position, he has to create it for himself through efficient action. As a result, he sets long-term goals and plans his life carefully. He knows that nobody else will do the work for him. Number 10. Some people will dislike you. People who care about social status often want to be popular. These sorts of people would love to become famous. They'd love to have the respect and adoration of thousands of fans. But Sigmas, on the other hand, truly do not care about popularity. And the idea of being famous, of having people swarm you wherever you go, sounds like the Sigma's worst nightmare. And the harsh truth about life is that some people will always dislike you, no matter how polite or respectful you may be. You can prove it for yourself. Start a social media account and honestly broadcast your beliefs. With no time, you will offend somebody and they will insult you and call you a terrible person. People clash with one another. Conflict is unavoidable. And Sigmas realize that popularity is often shallow. Just because somebody's nice to you doesn't mean that they like you. They might just want something from you or think that you can benefit them in the future. People are also quite shallow and often dislike others for petty reasons that don't even make sense. Sigmas just don't care about these shallow judgments. Number 9. You can learn things the easy way or the hard way. You can think about the world as a school, because with each year that passes, we gain perspective. But some people learn faster than others. And Sigmas always try to learn quickly from their mistakes. They hate repeating the same errors over and over. Unfortunately, other men sometimes repeat the same mistakes for many decades. Think of a man who overeats for 25 years or who binge drinks every weekend. If you keep repeating these same mistakes, over time, the consequences will become more severe. Bad financial decisions, unhealthy eating habits, and any other negative habit you might have. All these destructive habits have a compound effect. The Sigma learns fast and adapts his behavior. Others, however, wait until life teaches them the hard way. Number 8. Some people are malicious. A small but significant percentage of people are genuinely malicious. They have ill will towards everybody. Nice people can't understand the mentality. They can't fathom having evil intentions, and their naivety makes them an easy target. But even a Sigma with an excellent moral code will nevertheless understand the predator mind state, because he operates more like a predator himself. He might be a nice guy, but he understands that some people have quite twisted thoughts running through their minds, and that they don't feel remorse. It's a small percentage of people, but they are out there. Sigmas are also brave men who enjoy conflict to an extent, so they don't feel intimidated by malicious people. Plus, they're also good judges of characters who spot red flags quickly, which makes them a hard target. Number 7. You'll never be ready. A lot of men dream of making moves, but they suffer from analysis paralysis. Before they're willing to act, they first want the conditions to be perfect, and as a result, they remain stuck, because conditions will never be perfect. To take a few examples, even some of the most popular books ever written have glaring holes in the plot, and a lot of today's successful musicians lack artistic genius. Even successful businesses are often dysfunctional. Imperfection runs through human society. A Sigma doesn't allow self-doubt or imposter syndrome to stop him from acting. If he wants something, he makes a plan and carries it out. Even if he fails, he learns from the process and adapts. The truth is that you'll never be ready. Often, you just have to take the plunge. Number 6. Some people need help. Some people cause their own problems. They don't want help, and even if you try to help them with money or opportunities, they won't change, so there's no point in even trying. But other people need help, and it isn't their fault. They suffer from bad luck. It could be due to illness or a freak accident, but they find themselves in terrible conditions, and these people deserve help. If nobody is generous with them, society degenerates and becomes a cruel place. So even if the Sigma doesn't set out to become a philanthropist, he often ends up helping the less fortunate. He's a good judge of character, so he can tell who deserves help and who doesn't. And because he occupies a relatively high position in society, a Sigma can often afford to share some resources with people who are struggling. Plus, because Sigmas understand violence, they end up, in spite of themselves, protecting people who need it. Number 5. Everything carries risk. In life, you get 2 types of risks: smart risks and stupid ones. Every worthwhile goal will have a certain amount of risk attached to it. Sigmas only take smart, calculated risks. For example, changing jobs carries risk but has a big potential payoff. So does exploring the world or sticking up for yourself instead of being a doormat. But these risks are very different from stupid ones. Speeding drunk down the highway, for example, or going out to look for fights. These are just stupid risks with no reward. Number 4. Lower your expectations. Some people have unrealistic expectations about others. They create a fantasy world and expect loyalty, obedience, and perfect moral standards. They might even develop a sense of entitlement, as if the world owed them something. When people inevitably let them down, they feel disappointed. But you can like people while still lowering your expectations of them. An honest man recognizes faults when he sees them. People are self-centered and act for their own interests. They don't care much about your goals because they're too busy thinking about themselves. They even compromise their moral standards for money. If you notice these things, it doesn't mean that you're a misanthrope who hates people. It just means that you don't set unrealistic expectations. Sigmas rarely get shocked when somebody does something dumb or malicious. Number 3. Your appearance makes a difference. People don't like to hear it, but aesthetics matter. Society wants to pretend that we only care about what's on the inside. But watch people's behavior and you'll realize that they care deeply about appearances. It's not just in romantic relationships. How you look will impact all your daily interactions. People make deep assumptions about you based on what you look like. They look at your facial features, your expressions, the clothes you wear, your hairstyle, your height. They draw conclusions based on the information they have available. It's a spontaneous process. Luckily for men, it's easy to play the game. As long as you have a bit of muscle mass and decent clothes, you're in a good position. Women need to be beautiful, but a man can make a good impression even if he looks a bit rough. Which is why Sigmas often hit the gym and will wear trendy clothes when the occasion calls for it. They don't care what other people think, but they understand that aesthetics lead to opportunities. Number 2. Nobody likes a complainer. If anything irritates the Sigma, it's complaining. If you want to drive a Sigma crazy, make sure to talk a lot about your problems. In fact, when it comes to men, nobody likes a complainer. Some people complain about things they can't control. Others complain about things they can control. And Sigmas find this annoying because instead of complaining, it would be a better idea to just fix the problem. Complaining also demonstrates that you have a victim mentality, and nobody wants to speak to a man who thinks he's a martyr. It makes everybody feel negative. People often refer to complainers as vampires because complaining drains people of positive feelings. Sigmas don't complain about their problems, and they never expect pity from anybody. Sigmas prefer to live with an optimistic mind state. It's a personal choice to remain cheerful, even in difficult circumstances. Now, if you've enjoyed the video so far, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with your friends so that we can keep making more videos for Sigmas. And if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell. It really helps our channel to grow. Now finally, on to number 1. You create your life through action. We can divide human life into thought and action. Thinking helps you understand the world from a theoretical perspective, but real change happens through consistent, repetitive action. It's quite a mindless process. It also hurts. People struggle to keep up the pace needed for success. Sigmas are high achievers precisely because they push through pain and discomfort for the sake of their long-term goals. Not everything is under your control. You can't change your genetics, your family, your upbringing, but you can control your actions. In fact, your actions create your destiny, like an author writes a book. Sigmas take responsibility. They keep up a high pace and go after the things they want. Many people dislike hearing the truth. Nevertheless, the sooner you face these bitter facts about life, the sooner you will be able to make positive changes. Sigmas dislike the mainstream conveyor philosophy. They notice the dark aspects of life and don't run away from them, while so many people remain willfully blind. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.